Hello, and welcome to Healthy Knitting. My name is Rosie. Today is March 30th, 2015. You can find me on Ravelry as LESPETITSLUXES, and there is a WordPress site called healthyknitting.wordpress.com where I don't write show notes, but wish that I did, because then when I podcast, I'll know what I've talked about before. So sometimes you might hear me repeat myself, and there is a Healthy Knitting group over on Ravelry as well. Hi, it's been 2 weeks, and I thought I was going to record last week, and I had stuff to show you and everything, and it just never happened. So here we are. I have some spinning, very light spinning, some knitting, and Buddy's here today. So welcome. I feel out of sync here, like I forgot how to do it. So what's new and good? What's new and good is so much has happened I can't even remember. One of my friends is moving maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes down the road from me, which is great. It's on my side of the river instead of the other side of the river. And what's really fun is I went over there yesterday afternoon, which was a beautiful day, another new and good. And so it's kind of like a converted barn, and it's so cool. The view is amazing, and I love barns. If any of you have listened before, I lived in Vermont for many years. I had a barn. I had cows. I used to milk cows for people, milk tested. I just love barns. So there was one point in my life when I thought of living in a converted barn as well, and it was really, really cool. And what's really fun was there was a pool table upstairs. It was all covered over, stuff on top of it. And I was like, that's so funny, because one of the first farm jobs I ever got up in Vermont, the guy, he had two barns, and one barn was for the milking cows, and the other barn had the dry cows, which means they're not in milk right now. They're getting ready to have a baby, so nobody's milking them. And a calf, sorry. Anyway, and the upstairs is where he lived, and it was this huge space, and he had a pool table in there, and him and the vet would play pool, and I think I might have tried to join in at one point, me and the other kid that worked for him, but I had a pool table growing up, but I never really learned how to play very well. It's just kind of like point and shoot, see if it works. I don't know. Cat hair. And so I just thought that was really funny that there was a pool table in there. So barns and pool tables. Who knew? Let's see, what else did I want to talk to you about that's new and good? The weather. It's March. I love March. We always get nice weather. Today, actually, you can't see because my windows are that way, but we did have a dusting of snow, and it feels a little chilly, but my house doesn't feel cold. It doesn't feel like it's going to last. Obviously, it's March. Things don't hang out too long here, cold weather-wise. We get the warm and the cold, and I think today's Monday. By Friday, we're supposed to hit 60. So spring is really here. And I saw a robin yesterday, and I heard the redwings, and I heard lots of other little birds that I haven't heard in a while. So it's really nice to see that change. I really love the changing of things that's going on this time of the year. I have been seeing, what was it? Sorry, I don't know what that was. Maybe it's just birds. But the turkeys, I saw the turkeys last week, and the deer the footprints. It's so funny. When we had that deep, heavy snow, my friend was telling me she saw it too at her house. In our footprints, when we walked out there, you could see the deer prints. So they're not stupid. They're like, I'm going to walk. Because sometimes the snow gets so hard and deep. I'm like, how do they not bash their shins to pieces? Because I had to walk out there to clean stuff off, and I'm hurting myself with all that heavy, thick, icy snow that gets on top of it after a while. Anyway, Buddy, what are you doing, hun? He's so cute. Let's see. Let's talk about some knitting. I only have 2 things to show you. And one thing I worked on all last week, I haven't even touched it this past week, and we'll talk about that. So my iPad is not charged, so I took photos. Oh no, I didn't take photos. I took photos of something else. I have pulled it up on my phone. So I am working on the Anisette cardigan by Julie Farmer, and this is what it looks like. Shouldn't be too much glare today because the sun is not shining. So this is cute, and I am making long sleeves. I've made a lot of adjustments to this pattern. Let me get it out here. This is how I write notes. That's notes. And that's notes. sometimes I don't know what I wrote, and if I take too long when I've made a lot of mods, then I've got no idea what I'm doing, so I really need to get back to working on this. But what happened is, you know when something says at the same time and you don't see that? That's what happened to me. Not once, twice. And I was so far along that I didn't want to go back and take the whole thing out because it was right away. And I'm like, let me just see if I could mod this. So it is a raglan shaped cardigan, and I'll show you what happened. This is the right front panel. This is my modified sleeve. It's 3/4 length. I figured, yes, if you know, I like my sleeves really long, but for this, I thought that it would be okay with a 3/4 length sleeve since it's for summer. And keep dropping this. And this is the back. So I added waist shaping, and then obviously I've made the sleeve longer, which was interesting to try to figure out because I think I was originally going to try to make a longer sleeve, and it just wasn't going to work as either because of I didn't want to start messing around with the pattern repeat too much. So I kind of did the math of where it would be its widest with this, and then figured it would have to be up here, and then did the ribbing and worked that way up the sleeve. And if you notice, this is like a very odd shaped sleeve. I have never done a raglan sleeve that was like this. And this is not just my mod either. It's not a normal shape. So I have to actually see if this fits. So that's why I did only the front, the back, and one sleeve. I was like, let me just put them together and see if it actually works. Oh, here's another thing. I was supposed to shape the front. It's supposed to be a scoop. I don't particularly like scoops anyway. I like more of a V, and I didn't notice when you were supposed to start, like maybe like right here, I was supposed to start doing the decreases along the front, and I was like, oh man. I didn't feel like doing that after I had gotten all the way done. So I was like up to here, and then I just finagled to try to get a decent amount of stitches, and I think it's going to be okay because I like cardigans like this too, where I might not even put buttons on this. I might just let it hang. So totally changed cardigan, but my concern is the sleeve because I just don't know if that is going to actually fit right. So I need to just seam that up and try it on and see if it works, and then I can get going. If not, I have to rip this back and make the sleeve as indicated in the pattern. I'm not really good at modifying sleeves, although I do have all the information to do it, but I just don't very much figure out sleeve caps. But I have Shirley Patton's book on how to put things together, and I have another class on I was gonna say Ravelry, then I was gonna say Etsy, Craftsy. Ooh, sorry, buddy. Buddy in the face again. I keep hitting you in the face, honey. Your face is so cute. So it's cute. The stitch pattern is nice. I like it a lot. It's super easy. You don't need to really pay attention. Once you do one repeat, you pretty much know what's going on. The cables, hi, drop frames. I wish I knew why it does that. I have no idea. Everything's updated on my computer, and I don't know what iMovie's deal is sometimes. It just gets weird. So at least I'm paying attention and not just talking and not recording. So anyway, the pattern repeat for the cable is, I think, every 12th row, so it matches up with this pattern as well, so you can't really mess it up. It's super easy. You could do it in your sleep, and I really like the fabric. I never told you what yarn, and I don't even remember what size needles I'm working on. 7s maybe? What are these? Are these the ones I was working on? These are 6, so it must be a 6. I don't know. I have it written down. I do write these things down because sometimes, yes, size 6 needles. 5 for the ribbing, 6 for that. It's Amy Butler by Rowan, the Bell Organic Aran. I love this yarn. I love wool cotton blends. I don't know if any of you have worked with wool cotton blends, but they're so nice because they still have a lot of body and shape to them because of the wool, but the cotton is kind of cushy as well, and it just feels a little bit lighter. So I really like it. And I have enough yarn. I'm going to have to use, I think, all of it. Last time I was telling you I have, I think 7 balls in one dye lot and 2 in a different dye lot. But to me, when you put them together, they look exactly the same. And then I don't even know what happened to them. One of the cats took one of them and it's a mess. It's somewhere, and I should have another one somewhere else. I figured it out that I would have enough. I would have just enough, I think, because I need to put ribbing, some type of, that's the other thing too. Now I don't know what I want to do for a collar because this has a ribbed collar and ribbing, and I'm not sure if that's going to work for this. So, because mine is going to come straight down. And if I don't put buttons on it and I let it hang, I don't need that iMovie. I don't know what you saw and what you didn't see. So anyway, there's a button band on here, and I don't think I'm going to put that on there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I was thinking maybe a I-cord edge around, all the way around would look nice, but I really have to see what that collar is going to look like with an I-cord edge. It might look fine, and then it might not look fine. I'm not sure. So a work in progress, and I didn't touch it at all last week. And this is what happens if I have something weird like that and I have to really figure some stuff out and take some time with things. I get a little bit like, I don't feel like doing it, and then I will not work on that ever again, and then I'll have to just rip it out. So I really want to push myself this week to get that done. Maybe I'll do it later. I have some things to wash later, so maybe I can just block that. And because I thought maybe it would be better if I blocked it first, but maybe I can just pin it somehow and with clips and see if it fits. Maybe that'd be the easiest thing for me to just even keep going. I don't know. Haven't figured it out yet. So the only other thing knitting wise that I'm working on are the plain vanilla socks, and I didn't show you anything last week, so I will show you something here. The pattern is the plain vanilla socks by Carrie McKiernan. And I told you I was using different needles this time. So I'm using Cubics, size 0. Yes, a 2-point-millimeter needle. And these are square, and they're not as pointy as, you know what, let me pull them out. I have my signatures here. I'm gonna do a little comparison for you with all the different size needles here. I have signatures, I have Knit Picks, Harmony, and I have Carbons. So here's all 4. The one over here is the Cubics. Then it's the Harmony, and then it's the Signature, and then the black one is the Carbons. So the Cubics is not that sharp. It's not even sharper than the Knit Picks one. But I do like the way they feel. They're lightweight. Let me just see. They're lighter than the signatures, and I like that because my hands tend to, I just like it when it's lighter. Gosh, these feel so fat now, and it's a size 1. It's so funny. The Carbons feel pretty light too. Let me see. The Carbons are even lighter than these. Wow, I haven't used these yet. This is the 00. And the wood ones, I'm dropping needles everywhere. The wood ones are lighter. So the signatures are the heaviest ones, but I do like the point. However, look at this, if you can see this. It's a little longer shaft on the point on the Carbons. Is that coming in clear? Maybe I need a darker background. That's gross. Full of cat hair. Mamma mia. All right. There, that's much better. You can see. See how it's sharper? The dark one is longer and pointier than even the signature. So I haven't worked on those yet. I wanted to finish these socks first. I didn't change the stitches. It's still 64 stitches around. everything fits. I tried them on last night, so I've actually gotten past the heel turn and I think a couple rows of decreases down the foot or down the gusset. I really like the fabric. Sorry. Where was I? So I'm down the gusset and I tried them on and they fit just fine. I'm not sure if I worked on the carbons with this same sock yarn, if I could get away with 64 stitches, because I did pull these against my other ones and I'm about an inch smaller than, it's so funny. These have been well worn and washed like 10 million times. And they look a little stretched out, but they're not. So I could tell that the fabric is definitely smaller. It doesn't feel any tighter. Mamma mia. Sorry. That's what happens with Google Voice. It rings on my computer as well. I have a regular phone number and a Google Voice number, and this person's calling me on both. They can leave a message on the other one, but I can't shut it off. Sorry. I hope that's not annoying. So you can see the difference. It's about an inch of fabric, half an inch on each side. So if I go down to the smaller needle size, I probably won't be able to put my foot in it. So I'll have to go up maybe 68 stitches. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm really liking it. I like the needles and I'm super excited to finish that so I can start the next pair on the carbons. So the only other thing I have, hello buddy, come here. The only other thing I have is I tried to do a little spinning. I was like, oh, I can spin. I can get some stuff done. I didn't get much done at all. I've been super busy this week. This is all I spun. The brown stuff under there is something else. I usually don't take stuff off of my bobbins. I'm kind of lazy like that if I have stuff on there, and eventually I'll just take it all off. So this is... Merino Tencel that I got from Webs that I dyed myself with greener shades. And I wish I knew how I did this because I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. I might have written it down somewhere, but I'm not really too sure. I think I did anyway. I just have no idea. But the colors are so pretty, and you're not really seeing the green. It's so vibrant and pretty. Like this green right here is really like a light colored emerald green, if that makes any sense. And then this is like a really pretty ice blue, and this is another little, I mean, just, it's so beautiful. And there's blue and purple, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm spinning for a 2-ply. It's kind of thin, but it might, I don't know if this plumps, oh, you didn't even see that. I don't know if it plumps up at all. I can't remember. It might plump up a little. I should probably, okay, so I dropped frames anyway, again. So I grabbed a couple things to show you. And when I went to Rhinebeck the first year, I found this, which is Merino Tencel. I bought two different colors, and I bought one for a friend. And I think I spun this on a spindle because I bought my spindle there and I didn't have a wheel yet. Well, I had a wheel a long time ago, but it got destroyed. So, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that I spun this on my spindle. And it's just a little triangle. What I want to do is try to block this out a little bit more because it's kind of short. I'm like strangling myself. And I think I can, but I didn't have blocking pins when I first blocked this. I just laid it out. So I hardly ever wear it, and I am not going to rip it out, but I will see if I can block it out a little bit better. And it's kind of puffy. I think it's more like a DK to light worsted kind of weight. So I don't know what it looked like before that, so I can't remember if it puffs up. This was, I think I spun this one on my wheel. This one came out a little finer. I got a lot more yardage. I can't remember what pattern this is either. It might be the Soroyan. Hi, buddy. And it kind of folds under, I don't know, the thing. So I don't really wear this that much either as a scarf. It's nice in the summer because it's summer colors. It's not a warm weather scarf at all, but I don't wear it that much. And then I made the hat last week that I showed you with the Eye of the Partridge. And this is the same, I think this is the same yarn. Gosh, this looks like a different color. Anyway, this is what Eye of the Partridge looks like in a scarf. And I don't wear this one that much either, but I do like the colors because they're pretty. So now I have a hat to match. Craziness. Okay, so that is it for the spinning and knitting. Wow, pretty light this week. What else did I want to tell you about? I'm going to have to come back. Hey, I forgot to tell you what else was new and good. My friends that have the house in Sicily were here just for the last 3 weeks, and I got to see them the day before they left. And also, I got to see friends of mine that I hadn't seen in over 15 years. We all used to hang out together a long time ago, and so I went and saw everybody, and I had so much fun. It's so nice to see your friends that you haven't seen in a long time. So if any of you have people that are kind of close by and you haven't hooked up and talked lately, go hang out and have a tea or something. Go have some fun. So I forgot I had another book for you, and I have to bring this back to the library in 2 days. So it is called Graphic Knits, and it is by Alexis Winslow. I know this book has been reviewed by another podcast, which is how I found it, but just in case you didn't see that podcast and you wanted a review, I am going to attempt a smaller review. There are only about 4 things that I would make for me in here, although there are other projects in here that I found that were interesting. So I'm going to show you some things that I thought that are both things that I would make for me and things that you might find of interest. Some things were kind of a miss for me, but they may not be a miss for you. It's just everyone has their own body type and things that they like to wear. So it's not only your body type, but your style. And so it's always a personal interpretation when you review a book of, wow, that's really nice. I like it. I would love to see that on me, or I'd love to see it on somebody else. And then there are things that you think are just totally crazy that you would even want to see on anybody, but that's your own personal taste. So I love this. The Rockling cardigan. Oops. There we go. It just looks like a very comfortable cardigan. I haven't read any instructions or anything like this, but it uses 2 different kinds of yarn, and it calls for Cascade Eco Wool, so it's very affordable for a sweater, and you'll have a lot left over because the accent color you're not going to use very much at all. And I'm actually even surprised you would use 2 for that cardigan with that extra. Maybe, I guess, because I made this with like 1.5 balls of Cascade Eco. So, excuse me. But I love to make jackets and cardigans. I have made a lot of tanks and tees and things like that, but I just prefer kind of like a regular shirt and then to wear something over it. So just the way I work, but I do make other things besides just cardigans and stuff like that, but they always catch my eye. Not like I need any more, but I keep making more. And I've made a hat similar to this, so I'm not going to make it, but if I hadn't, I would consider this hat. This is the Danio hat. Isn't that just cute? It's simple. I like simple. I like how it just has that nice little accent. And I feel like I would look good if I wore this hat. So that's 1. That's 2. I'm not going to make it, but I would if I didn't have one already. Some stuff I don't like the construction of, and I just think it's a little odd. And it's either it looks odd or something's a little different, and so there are other ways I think that you would make it that would be a little bit better, although aesthetically it's pleasing. It's just, I think there was a different way to do it. Bowerbird wrap. I like this. This is a reversible cabled wrap. And this is made with a DK weight, and you knit it on larger needles. Lily Chin has this, looks like the same exact type pattern that she made in a Vogue knitting magazine that's been in my queue for 10 million years. And she made hers out of kid silk haze or some type of mohair fabric like that. And I've always loved it. I like how this one has the color changes in it, the color blocks. I think you can't really see very well in the photograph, but there's 3 different colors there. It's like a very light yellow, a cream, and a orangey tan. And I think it's really pretty. So that I would actually, because it's been in my queue anyway with the Lily Chin thing, Lily Chin pattern, I would definitely make that. And then I have something very interesting in this book, because a lot of times what I'll go through is I'll pull up the Ravelry page for the book, and then I'll go through each of the patterns while I'm looking at the book. This way I can see what other people have done. I can mark it if I want to put it in my queue. I can mark it as a favorite, or I can just not bother with it if it's not anything I want to do. But sometimes the other thing too is when I look at a pattern, the designer may have an idea and then someone else will put a twist on it, and I'll be like, oh my God, I really love what that person did. And so I'll favorite that project and then put it in my queue, and I'll write a note to see faves so that I know that drop frames again. So I'll know that I'm more interested in the favorited project with the modifications versus the one that was in the regular pattern. So I thought this one actually, okay. This is an interesting cardigan, although I don't like it for me. I think it would look good on somebody else. This is the Engel cardigan. That's it. It's a plain in the back, so it's a normal in the back, but the front kind of overlaps. And there's a way you can wear this 3 different ways, and I'll show you that picture just so you can see it. Oh, it's not on here. You know why it's not on here? It's on Ravelry. It's not on that book, because if you see this book goes from page 46 to 65, and there is nothing there. So I need to tell the library that a whole section of this book is just not printed. Very interesting. I like the idea of this color block sweater. I don't even know the name of it because the page is missing, but I don't like the way the sleeves are too long. So there would be some modifications that I would make, but I like the idea of it. So, but it's not anything I would even put in my queue. Tanager shrug. I love the idea. It's not for me, but I love the idea of how those colors got put together. I think it's a really interesting way to have the color changes, and I could see something like that in a shawl would be really pretty, or some type of idea to use that. But it's not something I would make, but I think it's really cute. It's super adorable, and I could see it on somebody else. Not fond of that one. Just a little. I love this, and I would definitely make this. This is the Liwi top, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Isn't that cute? And so I would make this, and I do like making little tops like this. I've made a few before. I've made some up like this before as well. This one's really cute. I like how you can't see it very well. There is a little, hang on. I'm in the wrong side. There's a little detail feature right here where it changes the pattern from coming in one direction to the other. And I thought that was a nice feature. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's a little jarring. And then I was like, no, I actually kind of like it. So sometimes things also take a second look for me to be like, oh, I really like that. Have you ever looked back at old knitting, going through old knitting? Like I bought all the interweave. I had them in the paper form, and then I bought all of them to be on my computer so I can just have them in the downloaded format. And I'll scroll through, and there will be a magazine that I love, like almost every single one. I used to love interweave. Now, not really so much. I think the styles have changed, and I'm not really that interested anymore. But there are magazines where it's like 12 out of the 20 things I would make, and they're still in my queue. And they just never leave my queue. There's some designs that I really love, but this one I really liked as well. I think it's one that grew on me the second time I looked at it. And it has this cute little, I don't want to show too much. This cute little button detail at the shoulder. I thought that was kind of nice. It was different. I kind of like different too, because I don't like to, simple is fine as well, but sometimes you want just a little bit of a detail in something to make it a little different. These I love. I would make these, the Danae mittens. I love color work. Have I made a pair of color work mittens? No, but I will. Okay, Laura says hi. She's feeling much better. She had the sniffles for quite a while, but now she's... Want to turn around and say hi? You want to come sit on my lap? You come sit on my lap? She'd rather... Sorry, cat butt. She'd rather sit on my lap. She's not like Buddy. She's not a camera hog. But it looks like the mitten instructions, the chart is really big. It takes up a whole page, so you're not squinting to try to see anything. It's in 2 different colors. It seems like it'd be very easy to do. This is the Trilogy cardigan. I would not make this for me, although I think it's really interesting. I don't look good with a lot of bulk around my front, and this is a cardigan that has, well, I'll show it to you. How about I show you a picture? It's the cover photo of the book, and Trilogy cardigan. I find it really interesting. I really do. It's just that I don't do well with a bunch of bigness here, but I could totally see this on other people. I really could. I think it's really graphic and bold and interesting, and I like it. Just not for me, but it's really cool. And here's a shot of the back. I don't want to show too much, but it's very interesting. I like the color. I like the boldness. So here's another way wearing this, so that it's not all bunchy in the front, but it's like poofy on the sides. I still don't have my right and lefts very well, sorry. This is another one I thought was cute, but I wouldn't make it for me. I think we need to drop? No. Okay. I wouldn't wear it for myself because I don't typically wear yoked, although I have made them. I don't wear them that much. I like turtle. I'll just be quiet. It's not something I would wear for me, but I think it's really cute. And it's the Sweetness pullover. Are we going to drop? It's acting really funny. It's stopping and starting and stopping and starting. But anyway, I just thought it was adorable. I think it's really a nice sweater. It looks like it fits well, and there's no fit issues. And yeah, cute. I think this is bottom up. That one I don't not care for the construction. This one I thought was interesting, but it wouldn't be something for me. But I just thought it was kind of cool the way the color is. It's the Burren pullover. And I could totally see this on someone else. I like the shapes of the colors. I think it's interesting in the way that Nora Gaughan's things are interesting as well. She has different shapes and different ways that things fit. And I'm really drawn to that because it's very artistic, and it's not just, it's functional and artistic at the same way. Have you ever seen her Knitting Nature book? It's really cool. She's got a lot of interesting shapes, designs, and the way things fit. And so that kind of reminded me, not of her, it's not her geometry, but it's definitely the way the colors work. It's pretty cool. Like, reminded me of that. Very organic. So I like that as well. Just not something that I would wear. I don't wear cut off right there at the waist. Would look kind of funny on me, I think. This is the last item in the book, the Laszlo cardigan, and I like this as well. I think I would change the lapel a little bit to be a little bit smaller, but I do like this quite a lot. I like the colors. I like the shaping on the back. Let me see if I can show you a shot of the back. Very simple. So overall, I think there's about 4 things that I would make. If I could buy the individual patterns, I would. Let me just put it this way. I got it from the library. Go check it out. See if your library has it. If there's a lot in this book that you like, you may want to purchase, but I like to get them from the library first to see if it's something that I like. I don't physically buy books anymore. I prefer ebook material because it's just easier for me to look at a computer, print what I want, than to drop frames again. So it's just easier for me to have ebooks versus books, physical books. So the library works. Anyway, got to think of a healthy tip. Okay, so spring is here officially, and in other ways it is showing the signs of spring. So right now we're going to have different varieties of fruits and vegetables coming into the market and greens that you wouldn't normally see this time of the year. So that's a good changeover. We talked about this once before. I actually bought some dandelion greens yesterday or the day before, and I put them in my smoothie in the morning. And these astringent greens help to cleanse your body and get you from all of the hardier winter foods back into a more spring-like into summer mode of eating. Your body changes the different times of the year, the different foods we eat. So when you're in the grocery store, look for some of those. You can put dandelion greens in your salad. You can put them in your smoothies, which are great. And what else is there? Other astringent greens. Arugula should be popping up everywhere. And I know some of these things we can get all year long, but specifically this time of the year, to eat the things that are grown this time of the year is really important for your body. It's kind of designed that way, like if you are eating a lot of cold weather foods, I don't want to say it that way because it sounds backwards. A lot of foods that are grown in tropical climates, if we eat those when we're in the north, when it's really cold, we're not going to be feeling as warm, and it's going to feel very cooling for us. And so those foods were designed to eat in that temperature. So when the spring, when all of the greens are coming up and things like that, that's when we should be eating them. So, I don't really do the smoothies. I'm going to have 50 cuts in this. I'm sorry. Drop frames again. So basically, even in the winter, I don't eat a lot of foods that you would eat in warmer climates. I want to stay warmer. I eat warmer weather foods. I eat hardier foods in the winter. So buying those dandelion greens and having those is my prelude to spring. So I'm getting ready for that. Asparagus should be up soon. And I know, again, you can get these all year long, but really the things that come in the spring. If you ever want to know what foods are around when for the climate that you're in, you can always look at gardening magazines. And I think you can probably even do a Google search. Sorry. Talking too fast, I'm slurring. And just spring greens, spring vegetables, and you'll find it. But gardening magazines, that's where I learned all of that in the first place, was the gardening catalog. So they'll tell you when to plant and when you can harvest. And so you'll know when they're around for your area. So anyway, that is your healthy tip. Eat with the seasons and try to incorporate those foods that are fresh in your area right now. I think there was something else I was going to talk about, and I can't remember. I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a great week. I don't know if I'll record next week. Maybe I'll have this cardigan done, and I'll be able to show you, get myself working on that. Today I have to clean the house, though. It's spring cleaning day. Ciao.